Listen to this rhythm and then repeat it after I'm done. Here we go. You got it? Let's start together. 1, 2, ready, go. What? What's that? You don't remember it exactly? Well, play along with this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So that's the power of the drum along, and that's the focus of this talk, one in our series on monthly talks on our community drumming facilitation series. I'm Kalani, as you know, this is World Drum Club, and you are a patron of the channel. I want to thank you for that. So we're going to talk about the power and the definition of the drum along, very popular form of community drumming, especially in elementary schools. So what we just illustrated is that if you marry a song with drumming, you can do amazing things, like play long sequences, rhythmic sequences, without any instruction, just by using people's existing knowledge and skills. Let's do that again. You can drum along with me. Think of the alphabet. Ready, go. So some of the things we could do with that is we could start that in a round, right? Do that in a canon or have people start at different times. We could sing along, we could speak along, chant along with it, or sing the melody. We could do all sorts of things. We could take chunks of that and create different rhythms, all sorts of different things, just from this idea of drumming along with a song. So a drum along, and there's different versions of it, but basically a drum along is just drumming along with a song. Now that could be playing exactly the song like we just did, playing the same rhythms as if we're speaking the syllables and words through our drum. It could be accentuating certain parts of a song. For example, dee 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 dee. So we're not playing exactly, but we're approximating and bringing out the salient features or the kind of the signature features of a song, right? Or it could be just accompanying the song in general, like with a pulse. I've got peace like a river, got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. All right, just a gentle accompaniment. Why would we focus on songs? What are the benefits? Well, right off the bat, there are a couple that I can think of, and maybe you can think of more and leave them in the comments, but one of the main reasons we would use a song, there's so many actually, is one of it is organization, right? It's using something that people are familiar with or that you can teach quickly. People can learn songs in the moment and do them, but let's just assume that we're using familiar songs that people probably already know. So all of a sudden, now there's a familiarity with the music. People aren't completely lost. They know what to do, at least in part, and they've got a foundation, they've got a structure. And a foundation and a structure is super important in music making, and it's really important to give people a sense of ownership and security, so we create familiarity immediately. And a really smart teacher wrote in his book, Effortless Mastery, Kenny Warner, wrote, "There's nothing that's hard or difficult about, playing music. There's only things that are familiar and unfamiliar." So when you're first trying to learn something, and whether it's a technique or a melody or a rhythm or a song form or anything, it's not that it's hard to do. It's that it's unfamiliar to you. So you don't know what to do. and you don't know how to do it. So learning music and being a musician is a matter of becoming familiar with things, right? Getting to know them, and of course gaining skills and things like that. Much in the same way, we can offer people immediate familiarity and thereby what? Inclusion, comfort, ownership. We can give them something to do that they can already do so they feel competent. Super important. What does that do for people? That helps reduce anxiety. It helps reduce stress. It gives them an immediate, way to participate and plug in and be in the music and feel good about it. What else does a sing-along do, or a drum-along in this case? Well, it has a message, right? There's the song itself, and that's really powerful. And I think in the future we can even get into more about song choices. Why do we pick certain songs, as opposed to others? There's so many considerations there. As a music therapist and music educator, the song content, or what we sometimes call the program, right? The theme, the idea, the message, all of those things that are encompassed in the lyrics, and possibly the melody and the key and the timbre, the feeling of the music, because not all songs are the same, right? There's major, minor, fast, slow, smooth, angular. There's all kinds of different musical qualities that happen in songs in addition to the lyrics. But let's just say, for the sake of simplicity, that we're focusing on the lyrics. So there's a message there. Every song is about something. And a lot of songs are about different things, right? You can think of children's songs. Think of Mother Goose. There's songs about certain things that if you just listen to it, it sounds like it's about one thing, even if it's kind of confusing, like why are they singing about this? And what is a pocket full of posy? And why is London Bridge falling down, or whatever it is? But that's not what the song's actually about, right? In fact, most of those nursery rhymes are not about what the lyrics talk about. It's about something else. And so we can have an experience of a song on so many different levels. There's the actual literal meaning. There's the maybe hidden or metaphorical meaning that was intended by the songwriter. And then there's the subjective or personal interpretation of the participant, the person who's singing the song or recreating the song. So there's at least 3 different areas that we could go into, we could focus on in this whole constellation of meaning that we could derive from a song, or even just a poem, like a very short set of words. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. We can also, let's take that idea and let's bend it a little bit. So we have a song like, she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes, right? But what if we rewrite that a little bit? And this is what I love about doing a drum along, is we can repurpose a song and we can modify it a little bit to, say, convey information about what's expected of us or how we participate. We'll be listening to each other when we drum. We'll be listening to each other when we drum, right? All kinds of things. So we can use a song as a carrier of information or suggestions about how to participate, what to do, what not to do, how to have a good experience. All right, so those are a few of the reasons that we engage in drum-alongs. Now, other reasons can just include things like adding something of interest on top of a simple beat. So just yesterday, I had a group, maybe 6, 8 people, roughly, and because I didn't know a lot of the people, I wanted to do some assessment. So I wanted to see how people were participating. What were the choices? What was their mood like? How was their interest level? And so I started with something very simple and open, like passing around the bin of instruments, inviting them to choose something that they want to play, and then simply, providing a pulse and inviting them to join in. I mean, this is very basic. You guys, I'm sure if you've been in any kind of community drumming on the facilitation side of things, that this would be a very familiar kind of procedure. But after a while, you know, even when everybody's playing, and before I get to that, let me just say that I can tell something about people by their choices of instrument. What kind of instruments do they choose? And I was modeling a few things, like I could say, you could take this. I would say something like, well, you can take this drum and play it with this, or you could use this one like this, or you could use this one like that. I did a quick demo modeling before I gave them the opportunity to start, so just know that. And then everybody's playing something. So I'm looking, how are they playing? What's their level of engagement? Are they looking and seeing other people? Do they seem to be listening to other people? Are they kind of doing their own thing? Are they connecting with the music, or are they kind of in their own space? This is a time to gather information. So that happened. And then after a while, I can introduce a song. Zun, 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 konsu dambae. Zun, 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 konsu dambae. Just kind of a simple thing. And then I would gradually, this is new for a lot of the people. We had some Spanish-speaking people. But most of the people were English speakers, but I actually didn't want to give them a song that they already knew because I wanted to pique their interest. What is that guy singing? What is that? What is Zoom Zoom? Is it Zoom Zoom or Zoom Zoom? I don't know. I can't tell. So it raises the level of curiosity. It raises the amount of things, you know, that they can choose to do or not do. And again, I'm looking at who's singing, who's trying, what are they doing? And then I could see, what are they doing? Are they catching on, or do they look confused? How can I help them? And there's a lot of repetition and modeling that goes into that as well. And also just kind of feeding little sections of a song at a time, right? And then repeating it. That gets into the educative part of it. We're not really here to discuss how to teach songs, only that we can use songs in different ways in combination with the drumming. And then we can leverage the meaning of the song in different ways. So let's leave that for a moment. Why else would you use certain songs? Well, of course, there's a lot of songs that are not only seasonal throughout the year. There's songs, of course, that we use for people's birthdays to honor individuals. There's songs that we use to honor different holidays, right? So not really seasonal, but just about certain dates. Obviously, lots of dates, lots of things that we could remember or that we could honor or note, right? There's things that we can use songs to, in a way to ground in a certain frame, a reference point, such as focusing on nature, or focusing on work or things to do, or focusing on things that we enjoy, or that could raise the question, what do you like to do? What's your hobby? What do you enjoy? In the case of the song I was using, it's actually about a hummingbird that lives mainly in the Caribbean, but I leveraged that song as a way to invite people to talk or think about people that they know or that they imagine. It could be fictional, fictional, or a real person that they know, and think about some quality of that person that they appreciate, and then identify that quality. So I use it in that way to help them focus on something positive and something that's inside themselves that they might want to cultivate. So there's lots of ways that we can leverage the meaning and the message of a song to help people focus on something that it might be beneficial for them to focus on. Now, of course, we could start with things that are very universal and just out there and obvious, right? Like holiday songs. But we can also take it in a very different direction and end up with something very intimate, very personal, and that could take the form of something spiritual or something that invites the participant to do some self-reflection and to also customize or personalize the lyrics or the interpretation of the lyrics. And in music therapy, we call that lyric analysis or lyric discussion when we're discussing it, and thereby tapping into unconscious or subconscious feelings and thoughts and even emotions about certain things. And then we can explore that further. All right, so there's so many different ways we can use a song. But let's get back to the concrete. Let's get back to just a very simple aspect of why we would use a song. And that gets back to the organizational part, right? So when people hear certain songs, for example, or certain rhythms, they might think of a certain song and vice versa. So if I played something like, right? Were you hopefully thinking of We Will Rock You? We will rock you, right? So when you're designing and facilitating and offering musical material and support for your participants, think about tapping in, no pun intended, think about tapping into the vast resource that is the world of songs and music. And it doesn't have to be with words. I mean, when I say songs or drum along, it could, of course, be things that don't necessarily have lyrics, but that are kind of ubiquitous, like well-known and loved by people and known by people. For example, right? Or, I mean, something like, that's the way, I like it, So it could be a style, and you could start with a song or chant, a little piece of a song, and then go from there. So again, let me just wrap up. I think you guys get it. A drum along, right, is just accompanying the song, basically. So in the hierarchy of musical focus, the song kind of is the main thing, not in every case, but the song is giving us the structure. What else? It can give us the form, if there's different parts of the song, right? It can give us, obviously, the tempo, pretty important. It can give us the meter, right, or the feel, the cadence. And there's certainly different feelings and cadences. It can give us a musical feeling in terms of key or tonality, like major or minor, right? It can give us, like the things I already talked about, like the lyrics, the program, the meaning, the opportunities for customization or personalization. And maybe most important, I think this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it, is that it is unifying, right? If everybody knows the song. Now, it's not always the case that everybody knows the song or that you will even know the same songs as your participants. But let me give you one anecdote before I sign off. So unity, is kind of one of the keys. I was in Hong Kong years ago, and I was asked to facilitate some community drumming with a group, and I think this is so awesome. It's a group of older adults, and I don't know if they had an age minimum, but I'm going to say 65 and up or 70 and up. And it was like a club. And they joined this club, and their goal, it's kind of like Red Hat ladies. Their goal is to have fun, right? And they would do different things. They would, meet up, I don't know, a couple times a month, and they would do different things. And this month, on this day, they happen to have contracted the services of one of my fellow community drumming facilitators, and she invited me as a guest facilitator for this group of mostly Chinese, Mandarin speaking, it's in Hong Kong, so a lot of the people were Asian, Chinese, also different nationalities. So what am I going to do for them? How do I serve them? I don't know them. I've never met them before. I don't even speak their main language, but they're there to drum and have fun. So what did I do? I'll tell you. I got a beat going, kind of like I did yesterday. I got a little beat going, Then I just invited, I said, with a translator, anybody who can think of a song, if you can think of a song, raise your hand. If you think of a song that sort of matches, the feeling, go ahead and start it. And a lot of the time when you have a group of people who are older and more experienced, they've heard a lot of songs. They know a lot of songs. So what happened? Well, one person would start singing a song, and then most of the people just joined in because they knew the songs, right? These are their folk songs, their songs from childhood or their young adult lives, right? When we kind of form our collection of what we think of as our music, right? Maybe between the age of maybe 10, 12, up into our early 20s. So that decade is that, the music of that generation for the most part. So they were enjoying these songs. I'm just there now watching and providing support. So the message there is a couple things. Your participants know what they like, and if you trust them to help produce material and offer, things, then if you can let go of control and just trust that they're going to do what they want to do to have fun, because they're there to have fun. And I trust people to know what having fun means to them. I also know that I'm not the right person to try to lead them in singing songs and things because I don't know the songs that they know. I'm not the right person for that. But I am the right person to help them lead themselves in that. So I can do the drumming part pretty well. I've got a lot of experience in that to help keep things moving and help keep the beats together and help provide that support and maybe the grooviness and the feel, of the rhythm part of the accompaniment. But I don't know the songs. So they had a great time. And we did that. There was a bunch of songs that they came up with, and sometimes we'd have a beat, and then they would add a song on top of the beat. Sometimes we would start from silence, which is also the best place to start from if you're starting something new. And they would start singing a song, and they would start drumming along, and I would follow them and then just support what they were doing musically. And then, there could be other things. I like to just take a song and break it completely down, and sometimes even just a word can become a theme, or how you sing the song can change over time, and it could be louder, softer, faster, slower, even sung in a comical way, or, you can sing a song like a folk song, but you could sing it in an operatic way, or vice versa. There's all sorts of things you can do with a song that change the feeling, and when we change the elements of music, we change people's relationship with the music, which changes people's relationships in general, right? With each other and with you as a facilitator. So there's all sorts of dynamics that can come out of working with a song as fodder for musical exploration and in experience in the music. Okay, so I'm curious to know what some of you are doing or have done or would like to do in this area of drum along, in the greater area of community drumming. What are some things that you have done? How have you used certain songs and why? What have your experiences been with trying different songs, maybe with different age groups, different populations? Or what are some things that you would like to try, but you feel like you need a couple pieces of information? What are those bits, if you even know? Or if you don't know, that's okay too. Leave those in the comments, and then if it's urgent, contact me through the message system that we have, or you can even email me, kalanidas@gmail.com. All right, you guys? So again, drum along is your friend. It's pretty awesome. I recommend that you, as homework, try to start learning if you haven't already. Some people know a lot of songs. I'm not one of those people. It takes me a long time to memorize songs and learn them. But I've done it, and if I can do it, so can you. Some of you remember all the songs forever. I mean, it's amazing to me that some people just remember lyrics and they remember a bunch of songs. So if that's you, good for you. Congratulations. Put those songs to work. And if it's not you, then you need to work on getting those songs under your belt, try one a day for a while. Simple songs, folk songs, holiday songs, songs to mark certain occasions, patriotic songs, songs about certain people or places or events, songs about nature, whether that's seasonal events or just nature in general, songs about different ideas, different concepts, all right? Friendship songs, hello songs, tribute songs, all right? Learn a song a day for a month, different categories. Can you learn 3 or 4, that are like friendship people songs, 3 or 4 about nature, a few holiday songs, different holidays too, different religions, different times of the year, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, maybe that needs to be a bigger set, like 8 or 9. There's a lot of songs in that category. Some sacred songs, some chants and things, different things. Make sure we're culturally appropriate here, though. So we're not, abusing or misusing sacred songs from other people's culture or religion in a way that could be disrespectful. I mean, there's nothing wrong with learning other cultures' music and songs and things, but we just want to make sure we're using it. If we reproduce it, we use it in a way that's respectful. That's all. So cultural sharing, yes. Cultural appropriation or misappropriation, not so much. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a patron, and I hope this video is helpful. We will continue in our monthly community drumming sessions and lessons in this kind of overall revolving course we call community drumming facilitation. All right. I'll see you next time.